My name is Cassandra Enlow. I'm the Director of Programs and Partnerships here at Create Campaign, and I've been with the company for about 3 years now, and I'm really excited to be working in this capacity with you all. I know typically it's usually through emails that I talk to you all, but I like to see people face to face, so I'm glad that you all are here with me tonight. Hello and welcome everybody today to our My Startup Story. My name is Cassandra Enlow and I am the Director of Programs and Partnerships here at Create Campaign, and it is an honor to have you all in the building with us. I know that you have seen this vodka brand not only throughout our networking events, our conferences, we've had some at the galas, but then also at our local liquor stores. We are here to present the great of Greatness Vodka, Troy Brooks. How are you today, Troy?
Phenomenal. I'm great. No pun intended.
That's good. That's good.
I actually like that. Thank you for the
You like
introduction.
that?
You know what I mean?
I like
The great
that.
of greatness. I'm starting saying that.
Yes. I do want to ask, how did you come up with Greatness Vodka?
The name or the brand?
The name.
It's a whole story of me convincing myself of my greatness.
So, but why
Honestly,
vodka?
yeah. Well, that's just the spirit that I drank.
Okay.
When I would drink, you
Okay.
know. So I wanted it to be true to me. You know what I mean?
So you kind of already talked about what the first real question that we were going to kind of discover and deep dive into is, what is your why? Why did you choose not only to pursue this industry, but what kind of motivated you to get into the whole vodka business? I know there's not a lot of Black-owned spirit brands, so what made you start?
In the beginning, I just had a hunger to want to make something of myself. And again, from how I was raised, I was never going to be the guy that's going to, risk it all in a illegal way. That just is not the cloth I'm cut from. I just don't even feel comfortable in doing it, so I can't even fake it. So I wasn't going to do anything of that nature. So I just wanted to be somebody and make something of myself and not be average. But now over time, I've become a father. I have 2 daughters, and my biggest why now is, number one, being a great example for my children. I have 2 little girls, so I know someday they're gonna wanna fall in love with a man. I want to be a great example of what a great man is for them.
And do you think, again, like the things that you had been through kind of guided you towards not wanting to do the typical 9 to 5? Like, do you think that those constraints that you faced when you were younger kind of motivated you to take this entrepreneurial journey, or was it something else?
It was just, it's kind of like when I was homeless. It was just kind of like it organically came to me. No, you're going to figure it out.
Right.
And I think subconsciously sometimes I hear that voice in the back of my mind, because that's just what was embedded in me for so many years, to where now it's like, okay, yeah, you hit your goal, but you want to be great. You didn't want to stop there, right?
Right.
And so I've just dealt with that for so many years, to where now it's like, no, there is another level.
Do you think, or has there ever been a time, even with all those motivations, like your dad constantly in your, in the back of your mind, your baby's at the forefront of your mind, that you have felt like maybe this isn't right, maybe I should give up, maybe I should pivot? Have you ever felt like that? And if so, then how did you overcome that feeling? Yes,
and I think the reality of it is, this is just my opinion. I've listened to tons of podcasts and highly successful people that say, and I even have a mentor that says that doesn't happen, but I believe we all experience it. I believe because we're human. I mean, you just have the pain of like quitting and never knowing, right? Or you can have the pain of the sacrifices it takes to get there.
Right. I know that your homeless journey was before you started Greatness. Have you had any major setbacks since starting Greatness?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think, I'm a huge believer in Christ, right? So I think you have to build your faith.
I was gonna ask, only because you kind of touched on it, how do you continue to exercise your faith in this type of industry when there's a lot of negative connotation around alcohol and spirits? How do you balance that?
Just like anything. I mean, too much of anything can be bad. Depending on, actually, there's maybe a few anomalies in that, but I think it's just discipline. It's all discipline.
And speaking of great and growth and having a growth mindset, what was you feel like one of your most crucial moments in your journey on this?
So building greatness, it was never like I had like loans or nothing. It was all my hard earned saving money and everything, right? My first distributor, I had to sue because they stole 30 grand from me. And it put me out of business. And it was every dollar I had to my personal finances, business, all that.
Now, I know the get up and see it through mentality is truly a mentality.
Yeah.
And I know not all the time do the people we surround ourselves with have that same mentality. And I know that success can be kind of an isolating journey. So how have you kind of stayed grounded in that journey, or how have you kind of overcome those moments of entrepreneurial loneliness when you are trying to get up, recover? Because a lot of times people do want to be around us when we're successful, when we're popping bottles, when we're throwing money. But when it does come to those setbacks and those failures, how do you again stay motivated to get up? Other than, of course, there's your babies. There's your, your natural drive to want to keep going. But what else makes you overcome that isolation, that feeling?
That's a really good question. I think, number one, I think we all have like gifts that God has blessed us with, truly, our own personal ones, right? I've listened to so many success stories like that, to where for me it's like, no. This is a part of the process.
The loneliness and the isolation.
That's it. This is what we all go through. These hard times, and you feel like, man, what am I gonna do? That is where you say, you know what? I belong.
And can you kind of talk about the importance? Because it sounded like, you were not only in the right place at the right time to receive that opportunity, but you truly showed up for yourself. Can you talk about what it means to show up for yourself in maybe unfamiliar, or I know you said all you knew was you got the money, basically, but unfamiliar environments, and how you can truly hold captive those moments and make something out of those?
Well, number one, you're just doing yourself just justice. Like you want to be an NBA player, but you got to show up, bro. Like, you got to be in the game. Like, how do you shoot the ball if you're not even in regulation games? Like, so I think it's that, right? But I think knowing also that, like, in believing, I'm meant for this. No, I am meant for this. I don't care what nobody else say. I know I'm meant for it. Like, if you want to make the best lemonade in the world, you got to know.
Right.
And you got to tell yourself you're meant for it, because a lot of people are going to say you're not. So you just got to keep going. That was my mindset. So.
Right. No. How long do you think it took you to become your version of successful?
The day I was born.
Oh, the day you were born. I like that confidence, the day he was born. So my question is next, since you are on this fast trajectory, to excellence, to greatness, what is the next, what's next for Greatness Vodka? What's next for Troy Brooks?
My goal is to have a nationally acclaimed aspirational brand. And so when you think of Greatness Vodka, you think great flavors, great quality, and something that is a staple to, and it could be equivalent to a great lifestyle. I want that for greatness at a national level, and that takes time to get there. So to answer it directly, the next flavor is cucumber citrus.
Okay.
But to be a little more granular is to really hone in for us to be an aspirational brand that not just men, not just women can be a part of, not just black, not just white, not anybody can say, you know what? I am greatness. That's what I drink, because that's me, right? So that's how I really want that.
And I will just let you all know the drinks that you all drink, that signature drink is Troy's Vodka. You remember what flavor it is, right?
So this is the peach cherry lemonade. I believe it's the strawberry lemonade. That's why the color look a little different. But yes, it's peach cherry greatness with the strawberry lemonade mixed within it.
And there are several different flavors that you can find, locally throughout our retail stores here in Wichita. Are you anywhere else in Kansas?
We are all over the state of Kansas.
Okay, all over Kansas.
In the state of Kansas, we're in about 180 liquor stores, and about 140 bars and restaurants. So whether it's Overland Park, Shawnee, Hutchinson, Salina, wherever, the entire state, you can find us.
Have not tried it, you will have the opportunity to do so straight here soon.
You know what we call that?
Huh?
Do you know what we call that?
What do we call that?
Greatness.
We call it greatness. I like that. I like that.
Sorry, I had to. I'm sorry.
So, Troy, do you have anything that you want to kind of leave us with before we open this up to the audience for any questions?
I mean, I think I've kind of said, but I'll say it again. I think we all should remember that there's greatness in all of us.
You know, you are as motivating as that one commercial. You know, what are you doing with your life? You're just sitting there right now?
The BET one?
You know, when you got to go to college. Sign up for your college. What are you doing?
God.
You know, it was like,
Romeo
yes. It's like, what am I doing with my life?
It's hard to be consistent for anything, but you can.
Well, I really appreciate that motivation. I want to open it up now to our audience. Do you all have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask Troy?
So, being a Wichita, what was your marketing strategy to get all of your great
That's a good one.
in all of the different stores that I see it in?
I like how you said that I see it in. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I do too. Thank you. I really, honestly, I really wish I had the right answer. I didn't even have a strategy. I just was like, all out massive action. Anybody can get it. That was my mindset, truly. So if you ever look at my product, and sometimes I don't like it, but I also have learned to love it because it's part of my testimony. But if you ever look at my product, I've changed it so many times, and that's just to show you I've gotten better. You know, and that's really showing you that I probably should have been in one of Christina's classes when I started. And I mean, honestly, I just didn't know about it at the time. But like, I probably should have done that because it would have helped me to structure this better and understanding that. But like out the gate, I was just like, I will not be denied. Any and everybody gonna get this liquor. and everybody, I mean, that was just my thing. And I think what happened was my confidence level became contagious to some of the bars and or restaurants or liquor stores to where they're like, oh man, this kid is for real.
You have any final questions or anything? Go ahead.
What is your vision of success, or what do you consider success for you and your brand?
Man, that's a good question.
Made it to what you have to?
When will you have reached there? Yeah.
Man.
What does that look like?
It changes so many times. It changes so many times because, and I see it in different ways, right? And this sometimes stumps me a little bit because sometimes in business you have to look at the numbers. So I sometimes you can get so caught up in looking at it from a financial aspect to where it's like when I'm making X amount of dollars, right? Then I've made it, right? But I think the trick in all this, though, at the same time is, obviously, have you ever heard somebody say, don't focus on the money? Let the money, like, if you chase the money, it's going to run from you. But if you don't focus on money, it's going to start chasing you. You need to focus on the impact. The impact is where you make history. Because when you give people a feeling, they'll never forget it. When people have a feeling, and this is me in real time, something I'm really developing now. Like I have a whole marketing strategy I'm trying to put together now of to where how we can grow the impact and the feeling that we give our target audience to where now they live and die with the brand. Like they're like, you know what?
I need that.
I ain't drinking Tito's. I'm drinking greatness. You know what I mean? So if I'm answering this question correct at this point, my real goal is to have a real impact with my brand and people to not just see it as Greatness Vodka, but like, man, greatness is like, I really resonate with that. Hopefully that answered you.
Told you every time I think of greatness, I think, oh, vibes, so fun, life of the party, it's a good time. So,
No, I appreciate that. That's what I'm talking about. That's the impact.
It's fun. Go ahead.
So you've been on the receiving end of someone like being gracious and believing in your brand. Like, how do you want to give that back, like that feeling back to someone?
Like my long-term vision?
Like the story about Gary.
How do you want to be a Gary?
Man, before you can really focus on really helping fund and financially impact somebody else, you got to have your home intact. You know what I mean? So I truly do want to come up with some type of way to where I can help young entrepreneurs and develop them in a high level, and provide resources and do different things. But obviously that comes with criteria and that comes with different things, because now Gary is very helpful, but he's intense. I mean, he don't play. You better come with the goods, or you won't be getting no goods. So, I mean, you know, Gary really pushes me and pushes me and pushes me and pushes me. And one thing that Gary had told me was, when your perceived best isn't good enough, what do you do? And I was like, I don't know. You just get better. And he's like, that's it. Do that. Just get better. And what happened was, my level of belief in what I could do, I really started to lock in of like, man, you gotta figure this out. You've gotta figure this out. And I went from selling just a few cases. I'm trying not to get too deep in the weeds. I went from like selling like 3, 4, 5 cases a day to selling 10, to saying, you know what, you sold 10? Man, you could do 15. To doing that to where my highest in a week may have been like, personally, may have been like 50 or something like that. I sold, maybe like 40. I sold like 115.
Okay.
That week. And I couldn't wait till our next meeting. I'm like, I got something for you. I got something for you. You keep on playing with me. I'm gonna show you. And then we got there and he was like, I knew you always had that in you. I knew that was there. And I forgot your question, but
how do you plan on being that for somebody else?
Oh, so, you know, in that moment, I kind of like, I really went through a lot of emotional like breakdown of like, why is this not happening? Like, you know, and when I finally broke through, you know, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I want to be that for somebody else, because, and I thanked him a lot. And if you know Gary's like, let's do it again. Like, let's do it another time.
Well, I think that is all of our questions for tonight. I want to say thank you, Troy, so much for spending the evening with us. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And I hope you all enjoyed your drinks and our My Startup Story with Troy Brooks today from Greatness Vodka. Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.